Now, George, let's bring you in. You have your own way of tackling violent crime, haven't you? You've built effectively a whole community, a family, I guess, in this boxing gym in Battersea. Just talk to us about who goes there and what you're able to do for them.
So we're open to all, so we want everyone to come down and get involved, but we do target 11 to 30-year-old people from a disadvantaged background. So it could be that they've been involved in offending, it could be they've got mental health issues, physical health issues, special educational needs, but we don't want to just pigeonhole people and have them only associating with like for like. Instead, what we want to do is bring in other people for them to network with, which is why we open up to the mainstream. And we do our free boxing sessions, which are followed with free food and youth club, and we also offer long-term mentoring. So the real aim that we wanted to do was to create a community and a family for young people to belong to, and we want to be able to mimic that family and mimic the parents in offering long-term, consistent, unconditional support with empathy for those who are most in need. So what we really want to do is try and target those who everyone else is kind of leaving behind, because it takes a long time in order to turn them around. So when you look at funding and when you look at results, people want to see results in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. But actually, if you really want to work with those that are costing society the most and those that are involved in some of the more serious youth violence, you need to have a long-term plan for those people.
Now, in some instances, some of the people going to your gym may have already gone down that road. They may have already been involved in violent crime. How do you turn their lives around? Because you've got experience of doing this. What works?
Long-term support and unconditional support. Never having a policy of saying, right, this is not going to work for you, so we're going to exclude you, we're not going to allow you to access the service. Definitely having boundaries and consequences, and those consequences sometimes need to be punishable consequences, but it's never to exclude and it's never to push away. It's to show them that, to show these young people that we actually care, and to show them that there's opportunities and that there's real life opportunities that they can access, but that they need to put the work in for that in order for it to happen.
David, let's talk about consequences. Funding cuts have consequences, don't they?
They do. I'm hopeful that the Prime Minister, who, when he was Mayor of London, faced a similar upsurge in youth violence, will have some good ideas and the instinct to support the kind of work that we've just been hearing about. Because for councils, this is a hugely frustrating situation. We've had really good examples of just what you've heard about from George. In many local communities across London and the rest of the country, many of those things have been lost simply because councils have lost more than half of the funding that they receive from central government, and we've had to prioritise the most urgent activities. We'd like to be able to put a lot of that back, because we can see exactly what it is that can help young people to be put back on the right path and keep our communities safe for the future.
I mean, we've got this perfect storm, haven't we? We've got youth service cuts, police cuts, we've got more children being excluded from school, and perhaps in some instances a failure of statutory agencies to keep them safe. I mean, let's be honest, David. How likely do you really think that the spending cuts that we've seen across the board are going to be reversed?
Well, councils are the ones who can keep this show on the road. The concept of public health is based on what councils did in the Victorian period to tackle some of the diseases that were then a huge plague on our neighbourhoods. It's about identifying all the different factors that the police alone, that the NHS alone can't tackle, because councils have access to that information across the piece. Many of us are already investing in supporting groups like George's, providing youth centres and so on. But we are putting very great pressure on government. We've heard messages coming out that say there will be an increase in spending on some of these priority areas. And what we're making the case is 20,000 extra police is a big step in the right direction, but we need to make sure that that is in parallel with investment in the kind of youth services that will make the difference in the way that councils have a proven track record of doing.
Now, George, you're a practical man. Do you think that any of the stuff in this report is achievable?
I think it is achievable if people actually believe in it, and if people understand and recognise that and truly believe that long-term support is what is needed. And I think then, yes, definitely. And I mean, we've seen it in the local authority I'm working in with teenage pregnancy in the past. They had a long-term plan and they waited and waited and waited, and eventually those results started to come in because they weren't expected to fix the problem in 1, 2, 3 years. It was a long-term process, and so I think it can be, but people really need to believe in it, and it needs to not be the rhetoric of it's going to be a public health approach. Well, show us how it's going to be a public health approach. What are you doing to show that you're actually believing in this concept and investing in this concept?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm afraid we've run out of time for this discussion, but thank you very much for coming in. Michelle, thank you so much also for your contribution as well. Thank you. Now, Boris Johnson has been meeting party leaders in Northern Ireland this morning to help efforts to restore the power sharing